Welcome to the Rebel Health Coach Podcast with Tom Underwood. Armed with truth and knowledge, your journey to a healthy lifestyle can be obtained. Preventative wellness, quality nourishment, and daily fitness routines dramatically improve your outlook on life as a whole. And you'll find the support and info you need to accomplish a healthier lifestyle here. Together, we can empower each other along our journey to an amazing you.
On today's podcast, I am joined by Dr. David Waldman. Dr. David Waldman, or I'm going to call you Dr. Dave.
Yeah, that's good.
Welcome to the Rebel Health Coach Podcast, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I appreciate you joining me. So before we get started into this topic, tell us a little bit about you and your background.
My background started off in undergrad. I studied exercise physiology. And then I went on to chiropractic school. And my training is in chiropractic. And I practiced chiropractic for a number of years. And then now I'm studying for the past year or two, studying functional medicine as well.
Okay, great. And you are with the School of Applied Functional Medicine as well, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, good.
And I've also studied Apex Energetics as functional medicine seminars. So I've been going to those as well.
Okay, and what you said something about Terry Wahls. You're certified.
Yeah, I'm certified a Wahls coach or practitioner. I've had training with Dr. Terry Wahls as well.
Okay, I love Dr. Terry Wahls.
Yeah.
Amazing lady.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what made you go from this chiropractic care to functional medicine or add that to your repertoire?
Well, I started to develop signs and symptoms 13 years ago or so of multiple sclerosis, or MS they call it. So after many years of it coming and going, flaring and on and off, I decided I needed to learn more to help fix myself first and foremost.
Okay.
And then, I'm able to help patients thereafter.
Are you going to stay in the multiple sclerosis arena for your clients? Are you going to help people with MS?
After everything I've learned in functional medicine, the brain-body connection, and many other things, I feel that I don't want to necessarily specialize.
Okay.
I want to specialize in, people with health challenges like myself that ended up affecting your health, your life, and your productivity, be it in business or everyday life.
Okay, good. So you said you developed MS 13 years ago.
Approximately.
That age. And what were
looking back, I think I've had signs and various subtle symptoms long before that. You don't put two and two together. You have no idea that that's what it is.
What were some of the symptoms that you developed that made you think, "Hey, this is not right"?
Well, it all came to a head in 13 years ago when I developed double vision, or they call it diplopia. Which in a sense is optic neuritis, just inflammation of around the optic nerve. And then I also developed tingling bilaterally in my hands. And then I wasn't able to use my right hand as well to button a shirt or, use my handwriting, which as a doctor, you gotta, at the time, it was before computerized notes. You got to do everything by hand. So I couldn't even read my own handwriting at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how old were you? What age were you when you developed?
I was approximately 33, 32, okay. In the early 30s.
Okay. You look good for your age, buddy.
Oh, thanks. I'm following a lifestyle,
Yeah.
Eating right, thinking right, that sort of thing.
I want to dig into MS a little bit because MS is a form of autoimmune disease of some sort, correct?
Right. It's classified as an autoimmune condition.
Okay.
Where your body attacks the myelin sheath, which is like the covering of a wire. If you cross section the wire, phone wire, or any type of wire, you would see all the, filaments on the inside, but the covering on the outside is what helps to propagate or transmit the signals down the wire.
Okay.
That's kind of what your nervous system does.
So basically, that myelin sheath protects the fibers of the nervous system from the brain to the spinal cord.
That's right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's dig in there. Tell us about living with MS.
Well, it's challenging to say the least. Over time, well, when it first started for me, like I said, my hands were a problem at the time. My vision, which cleared up within a few weeks or so. Thank God, because that really throws you for a loop, having double vision.
Oh, I bet.
And it didn't affect my ability to walk at the time. So I was able to adapt and do some things that I knew how to do, like some form of detox and, just changing a few things in my diet and taking certain supplements. And then things kind of subsided. My hands were still tingling till this day, but you can live with that. Nobody knows it. Nobody can see your hands tingling. It wasn't until very, very slowly over time from that point forward that I slowly developed some back pain, hip pain, joint pain. And then it slowly, ever so slowly, started to decrease my ability to walk a certain distance. So, in other words, say it was 2 miles, and then it went to a mile, and then decreased from there. Until fast forward, maybe 3-4 years ago, I started to develop a limp. And that you can't hide.
You can't hide the limp?
No. Unless you just stand still. But the funny thing is that being, working with patients, I was still able to do that for a long time. I would, when I developed the limp, I would just call them in the office and let them walk in front of me to the treatment room. And then when I was done treating them, let them walk in front of me going back out.
Oh, wow.
So that's the way I could hide it.
Right.
So you're always thinking about it. And
right.
That's the worst part is you're always thinking about walking from A to B. If you were going to a store, which I'm not much of a shopper, that's my wife's department.
Okay.
But if you're going to a movie or wherever you're going,
right.
You have to think about where you're going to park, how close to the door, how far a walk is it to and from, that sort of thing, which that's the part that kind of stinks.
Okay. I know that Dr. Terry Wahls has done amazing things with her disease.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're doing with MS for yourself to help, mute some of the symptoms or help you
sure.
Yeah. Deal with it on a daily practice, as a daily level.
Yeah. So back before I really changed my diet and went to it's a modified paleo / ketogenic type of program.
Okay.
Which is the Wahls protocol is a modified version of that. Prior to that, I was just having really bad bouts of back pain, inflammation pain that, it was trouble getting out of bed at times. I was getting sick a lot, like colds that would last for a month, maybe. Just all kinds of weird stuff. And then once I changed and started adapting the Wahls protocol as far as, dietary things. So, you have to omit gluten, you have to omit dairy, which for me, because, a long time ago, way before this all happened, I used to be a competitive bodybuilder. So I knew about discipline and adhering to a certain dietary protocol. That was nothing new to me, and exercising. So all the things from my past really helped me adapt to now and when I started to change things. So I adapted the Wahls protocol, got that going, and then it helped my inflammation go way down so that I wasn't having these setbacks.
Huh. Is Wahls protocol based around like a paleo diet then? For the most part?
She has different levels, level 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Level 2 is more like a paleo. Level 1 is really for people that maybe they're vegetarian, so they can still eat like lentils, beans, things like that. Level 2 is more like a paleo version, and level 3 would be more like a ketogenic.
Okay, so
version.
Ketogenic diet can work also.
For sure. But ketogenic without dairy. Because some ketogenic programs, you can dairy, but not, well, because dairy and gluten are one of the most common triggers
of autoimmune disease, right?
Autoimmune and gut and all that stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gluten and dairy are both poisonous, as far as, to our bodies, most people's bodies.
But the funny thing is that over time, I've met this one woman who I ended up meeting. She's in my hometown, and she recovered from MS. She didn't give up gluten.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which was bizarre to me when we started talking about it. But everybody responds differently to everything. Yeah,
you're right. That's a good point.
Gluten is not good for me, but for her, it may be okay in small doses.
Huh. Now, how is this whole moving into the functional medicine from a chiropractor and into the functional medicine realm? How is that helping? How has that taught you some things, different ways to live and help yourself?
Well, it taught me how to, interpret lab work, give meaning behind the dietary changes that I'm doing. It's taught me a whole lot, probably a large portion of it I'm still implementing because there's so many things.
Right.
But I think the most important thing I think is the brain-body connection, which I have learned about over the past 3 years by doing yoga training, meditation training. So that's where the lifestyle kind of comes in. See, I can eat all the good foods I want and omit all the bad foods that I don't want in my body. Take the best supplements, but if my mindset is not good, all that's really a waste.
Right. Very valid point.
That's why I got into all that portion of it, which, in functional medicine, we talk about that as well.
Right. Now, as a chiropractor, what were you doing? Were you treating patients as a chiropractor? I mean, were you specializing in any area?
Well, I was doing chiropractic, like physical manipulation of patients. I did applied kinesiology, which is doing a lot of muscle testing. I did incorporated nutrition. Sometimes I did weight loss with patients. So it was a pretty diverse type of practice. But the physical aspect of it became harder and harder.
Yeah. Now with your limitations, what are you doing with your practice as far as chiropractor goes now?
Well, it was just ironic that I started to implement just another service called DOT physicals, which are just basically physical exams that people who are commercial truck drivers or drive certain trucks or operate certain machinery have to get every 1 to 2 years. So I started to do that long before I was losing my ability to do chiropractic, and it just started to snowball into a nice niche, which I'm grateful for. But it's not really overall a wellness approach. It's just a service type of thing.
Okay. So you're basically examining them, telling them they're okay to continue driving?
Yes.
Okay.
Or making sure, like if they're diabetic, that it's being managed from a medical perspective, that someone's overseeing that, like an endocrinologist. No, and then learning all that I've learned now with functional medicine, I'm like, wow, I can see why people are getting sicker and sicker because they're not being told the right approach.
Right. You probably see a lot of diabetics in that truck driving field.
Yeah, there's a good portion. I mean, not the majority, but there's enough.
Yeah. The truck stops don't traditionally have very healthy food.
No, but occasionally you'll meet someone who's on the road and they have a nice truck with a kitchen in the back.
Okay.
They're like, oh, I stop and buy all my food and do salads. And I'm like, wow, you're a rare breed.
A rare breed. Yeah. Exactly. I know when I travel back to Michigan, I stop at truck stops to grab something. And usually the only thing I grab is the hard-boiled eggs. I'm like, I need about 5 hard-boiled eggs and some water.
Yeah. Everything else is no good.
Yeah. And even the hard-boiled eggs are soaked in something to preserve them for a little bit.
Right.
So it's like, but that's the health. I mean, if that's all you can get, that's all you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
or pack a big cooler or something.
Yeah. And now for some general housekeeping. First things first, if you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute, go into your app and rate and review this show. Then share it with your friends. This would mean the world to me. Next up, to join my mailing list for newsletters and other emails, text RHCP, Rebel Health Coach Podcast, RHCP to 22828. Again, text RHCP to 22828. I promise not to send you endless emails. Believe me, who has the time for that? Now, to grab a free 20-minute consultation with me, go to my website, and on the homepage, at the bottom is a red button that says Book Now. Click it and schedule your consultation with me. I will have you fill out an intake form so that during our consultation, we can discuss what I can do for you and also see if we are a good fit to work together. You can find the link in the show notes also. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the episode. Let me ask you, what are you doing now and what is your projection for the future?
Well, I'm still running my practice and then I may sell it at some point. And then I'm starting my new venture, which is the Healthy Detour. And I want to, I'm designing at the moment group coaching programs so I can help more people all at once. And then from there, if people want more individualized attention, then I will work with patients one-on-one. But I want to approach it from the point of what are some of the most important things to do first? Because like myself, you can't do everything that needs to be done to change your life and your lifestyle all at once, because then you'll just quit it all.
Right.
So I'm designing programs and steps that people can take, small steps to yield the biggest benefit.
Let's talk about the Healthy Detour. I like the name.
Yeah, because I came up with that name. Some friends have helped me kind of come up with the name, my wife, because we know, well, you and I know, that health, unfortunately, doesn't occur, or anything for that matter, in a straight line. And then you have to zig and zag to get to where you want to be.
Right.
Sometimes it goes backwards a little bit. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So that's kind of how I came up with that name.
I like it. Are you planning on, are you going to, I guess where I'm going with this is, are you going to focus on people with MS?
Not necessarily, but the steps that I'm designing my programs with all the steps that I've taken to get my health back on track.
Right.
So they really apply to most people, not just MS, but certainly MS as well.
Right. Well,
but I don't want to just isolate myself to people with MS, because there's 150 or more autoimmune conditions alone.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say.
The same approach that you would take with MS, you would take with rheumatoid or celiacs or whatever.
Right. I mean, autoimmune disease itself is a huge
umbrella.
Yeah. It's just to your point earlier, it pretty much it begins in the gut.
It really does. Yeah, absolutely. But if your mind isn't right, your gut won't be right. Nothing will be right.
Right.
So that's why, I want to approach it where people in my programs where we do everything systematically. So in other words, I approach the mind-body connection somewhat last because it's easy to avoid, but it's the hardest thing to do.
Right.
So I want people to address that first. You don't have to be an expert at it,
right?
But just acknowledge it and start to take those steps, and then everything else will work much better.
Well, yeah, let's face it. I mean, so many things in life can distract our brain and cause disruption in our gut. I mean, stress, anxiety, which actually anxiety comes from the gut. So stress, some of the outside things that we stress about, like money, relationships, friends, bills, money, which is money basically, but not and
everything.
Yeah. So it's a big ball.
It's all cumulative stress.
Right. Yep, exactly. Now,
but how you perceive it is the most important thing. So if I perceive it as doom and gloom, like having MS, which I did, I'm guilty of it.
I'm sure.
I was a lot of anger. There's a lot of like, why me? But over time, if you learn how to view things differently, things start to change.
Right.
And it's a practice. I always say optimal health is as much an art as it is a science.
Exactly.
So if I just focus on science, like, oh, this is the next best supplement, I'm going to take it. All my problems will go away. Yahoo! Not so much.
Now, let me ask you a question away from this subject a little bit. Speaking of supplements, because do you find yourself, since you've been in this functional medicine realm, trying different supplements out on yourself?
Oh, yeah, tons.
I'm like,
then, I'm glad you asked that, because my wife, not too long ago, she took out, I was taking captive a shelf in the kitchen. There's one of those pull-out drawers where pots and pans usually go, right? I had a huge basket, was overflowing with all my supplements. She took it, she was cleaning the house. She took it all out, put it on the counter, and it took up like half the counter. She's like, this is obscene. She's like, you don't even use a fraction of these things. I'm like, you're right, it is obscene.
It's funny. Because I'll see it's up like, I saw an email come through the other day for Integrative came out with another cortisol pill or cortisol, something that helped with our cortisol levels and anxiety and stress. Like, I got to get a bottle of that and try that out.
Yeah.
It's like I find myself being a guinea pig for a human guinea pig on some of these supplements. It's like, what?
Oh, there's so many. Oh my gosh. So I tailor it way back. I
do too.
The most important things. So like vitamin D. I'm in New England, so
right.
I mean, most of the year there's no sunlight.
Well, even down here in Atlanta, I take a vitamin D because I don't sit outside I sit behind this desk and this computer all week. My only sunlight's during the afternoon after I'm done, or on the weekends.
Yeah, and it's not enough.
No, I mean, really, I read an article about in order to get enough vitamin D, you practically have to lay naked in your front yard for an hour a day.
Yeah,
which I don't think any of us is going to lay naked in their front yard for an hour a day.
No.
I don't think the neighbors would be really kind about that either.
Yeah, I may do it in the backyard, but not in the front.
All right, let's talk about what would you tell others living with the health challenges that you've suffered or going through or the hurdles in their lives?
Yeah, I would say Well, I would work backwards from what I did and what most people do. I would say the brain body connection is number one, and that you're not defined by X, Y, or Z. In this case, for me, it's MS. MS is not me, but I learned this in yoga, my yoga training, that MS is not me, but mine, or can apply to anything. Anger is not me, but mine. I have anger. I'm not angry. So you got to channel your mind, have a different outlook so that you can have a different outcome.
Right. I love that. I love that quote.
And then you want to make the changes that you need to make, be it diet. Well, I think sugar is the number one enemy, because all the foods that we eat are laden with sugar. So that's why I'm designing a program to kick sugar to the curb in 6 steps. That's coming out soon because, we're bombarded with, foods that have sugar in them.
Right.
And then incorporate, good foods in your diet, good sources of protein, good fats, not being afraid of fat, the right type of fats, vegetables. Some people, it's, eating vegetables is considered foreign. And then movement also is important. That's why I exercise as often as I can without overdoing it, of course.
Right.
To just move, the body is not meant to sit at a desk all day.
Right.
Unfortunately, for some of us, we can't escape that.
I have it's called a 30-30 timer. It's an app on my phone, and I set it for 45-15. You could change the times. You can set it for 50-10 or 40, but I set it for 45-15. So I'll sit here for 45 minutes. My alarm will ring. For 15 minutes, I'll go outside, walk around a little bit, come back in. I'll do a plank hold or some stretching exercises, and then grab some water and come back to my desk for another 45 minutes. And I do that all day.
Idea. That's a great idea.
I mean, you can't just sit here all day.
No. That's one reason why I like going to the office when I do go to the office, because doing these exams, I'm up, I'm moving. There's times where I'm sitting and, in between, but, it keeps me going, Doing the functional medicine stuff, designing the programs and all that, there's a lot of sitting involved. But like you said, getting up periodically, moving, go get a glass of water, whatever it is.
Right. I think that's one of the key. Movement is sugar's a great one. Just eat real food. I say that over and over again. You probably do too, but if just eat real food. And even with when you go buy meats, like you talk about paleo. So paleo is basically a lot of meat.
Well, it's not just meat, it's a lot of good fats.
Right.
And that's people, most people are, in this day and age, they've been told that fat's the enemy, and eating lots of greens and all that stuff is good.
Right.
Well, it's actually the opposite. And then you want to incorporate good fats into your diet. Don't be afraid of it. You can eat as much good fats as you want. Right. And my cholesterol, I'm hard pressed to get it above 160.
That's good.
I want it to be higher, but
right.
It just won't go there, But the more sugar you eat, the more that's going to raise all the inflammatory markers like triglycerides, your what do you call it, homocysteine, and all these factors that will drive inflammation. And exactly. For me, or really for anybody, inflammation is bad.
Exactly.
You don't have to have MS to have inflammation. You can have depression.
No. You can have a lot.
You can have anxiety. You can have all kinds of stuff.
Right. Yeah. I have some problems with my gut sometimes when I get too stressed out, and I just have to chill. I just have to sit and chill. I have to learn to sit and chill.
That's why I like meditation a lot. Yeah. I just got done reading the book You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. You can look him up on Google. Okay. He's got videos on it. But after I got done reading the book, you go to his website, you can purchase his 1-hour meditation based on based on the book for $6. And you can do it for half an hour or an hour. If you have, it depends on you if you have the time. You don't necessarily have to do that, but meditation, I always say, is the language of the brain, and your emotions are the language of the body. So you don't want the body to control the brain. In other words, your subconscious thoughts or thoughts of the past dictating what's going to happen in the future. That's why meditation is so powerful. I didn't know that. I was like, that's stupid, back in the day, until I practiced it. That's why I say optimal health is as much an art as it is a science.
That's perfect.
I can get the best tests in the world, the best GI tests and the best blood tests and all that stuff, but it don't mean a damn thing if my brain isn't in the right place, if my thoughts aren't in my control. If I just, my thoughts are scattered and I'm in chaos, it doesn't matter what I do. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that over time.
All right. I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
How can folks find you and reach out to you?
They can reach out to me in several ways. One is on my website, thehealthydetour.com. You can send me an email from there. I'm on Facebook as well. It's The Healthy Detour on Facebook. You send me a message there. And then on Instagram as well, they can send me a message there. It's all The Healthy Detour.
Is Healthy Detour on Instagram as well?
Yeah, I put that on Instagram, yeah.
Okay.
That's enough social media platforms for me. Because that alone can cause you lots of...
That could cause you a lot of stress right there, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right there with you. Oh, my goodness.
And then I also started a YouTube channel, The Healthy Detour, and I'm going to start doing...
You said that's enough social media. But now you have the YouTube in there.
Well, the YouTube is just a platform because I'm in the process of doing, different videos on different topics.
Okay.
And I would love to hear what people want to hear about.
Okay.
Not just what I want to talk about, but what people want to hear about. Then I'd be happy to talk about them.
So what's your YouTube channel?
The Healthy Detour.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
it's actually all on my website, all the icons.
Okay. I'll put those in the show notes too. So where the listeners can go out and click on in the show notes and get that information.
And then I have a free download a free ebook on how to sleep great and wake up happy, because sleep is one of the most important things. If you're not sleeping well, you're not recovering well, you feel like junk, you have moodiness and all that fun stuff. Yeah. So there's a process, and I think sleep is, a good place to start. And then when I come up with my sugar program, if people want to do that, and then from there.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I have a question before I close this out. And I asked this is a regular on the Rebel Health Coach podcast, but if you have an hour just to chill out, what album or artist would you listen to?
Oh, boy. What album or artist? Oh man, you should have told me about this question. I like a lot of different. Let me look on my iPhone here. No.
All right, go ahead. Look.
I like a lot of different stuff. What do I like? What do you like?
I got jazz playing most of the day.
Jazz is good. I like jazz. Well, if I'm working out, I like something heavy metalish. Black Sabbath or Van Halen or, the old school stuff.
Yep. When I'm working out, I listen to Metallica, Black Sabbath, AC/DC. Yeah. But when I'm working here the day, when I get up in the morning, I turn some Christian music on first. And then after about 10:30, I'll switch to jazz for the rest of the day.
Jazz is good, but I also for meditation or just even when I'm doing some computer work, I like to listen to like crystal bowl music. Crystal bowl is like sound therapy.
Okay.
So that while I'm working, I'm not necessarily meditating, so to speak. Listening to different different sounds is a good thing as well.
Okay.
Kind of helps relax you.
Yeah, I have one of the things I was going to say while you were talking about the mind meditating. I'm one of those people that have a very difficult time meditating. My mind tends to wander, and I can't bring it back. So I invested in a machine called the Huzo. Which is human. Short. It's the HU from human and the SO from sound. So it's Huzo. So it's human sound, and you put earphones on, and then it has pads that go to your acupuncture points on your acupuncture meridians on your arm and your legs.
Right.
Put the sleeves on, and as you listen to the sounds, those little pads vibrate. So it's like a full body thing. I tell you what, this machine honestly changed my life. It helped repair my stomach. It helped de-stress me. It's been amazing.
Where do you get that?
This is Huzo.com.
Huzo. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's cool.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, I did a podcast with the CEO, and it was great. I loved it. I love that machine. Anyway, that's a mission. This is a podcast. It's about you, Dr. David.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining me today. Thanks very much. We got to stay connected.
Absolutely.
If I get up to Massachusetts, I have to look you up.
Come in the summer. Don't come in the winter.
I don't even go home to Michigan in the winter.
Are you from Michigan originally? Yeah. Whereabouts?
Grand Rapids area.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I have a friend that lives in northwest Michigan. They get tons of snow there.
Yeah. They had snow last week when it was 80 degrees here. I'm like,
had enough of that.
Yeah. My family's like, when are you going to come up visit? I'm like, well, let's wait for May.
Yeah, right. Wait until it gets warm.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Dr. Dave, for visiting. And thank you for all you're doing. And I appreciate you greatly.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And it's been a lot of fun.
All right. God bless, buddy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining in today with the Rebel Health Coach, Tom Underwood. And be sure to subscribe to the show so you can catch all the episodes. With desire and commitment, you can implement a lifestyle of wellness and fitness. For the support, encouragement, and tools you need to be successful, visit tomunderwood.net.